welcome to another Casual Geographic reaction. As if animals couldn't get any worse, here are some that will really ruin your day if you meet them. Enjoy! This second video we have is one that Tetra has seen. Top 10 animals with black Air Force energy versus the top 10 most disrespectful animals. So I haven't seen this one. And I already see kangaroos fighting. Okay. We were supposed to be taking notes. Your test is on Friday. No, I'm just kidding. It is 50% of your grade. This will be on the test. You have to tell me 3 fun facts about each animal. I'm just kidding. Those days are over. Yeah, no spoilers. No spoilers if you've seen it on Tetris. If you've seen it before, let me experience it. And then if you have any other fun facts after the bit's over, we can go over it. Wait, Fridays? So Friday stream. Tetra is streaming on Friday? I am not. Because it's her spoiler. You don't have to apologize, Crom. No, it's fine. Thank you for the super chat, but you don't have to apologize. It's totally fine. It just happened before, and I was like, wait a minute. This is a good one. I've heard this one is great, which is why Tetra recommended it to me. Spoiler-free zone? Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready for this. Okay, we're starting off with kangaroos. You'll mess them up. Yeah.
Black Air Force energy.
Yeah.
Good old Urban Dictionary defines it as a person or an object that has insane potential and is crazy enough to deal with anything without fear or hesitation, regardless of...
Why is Escanor and Sephiroth on here? Okay. All right. If I don't see a particular animal, I'm gonna be upset. I have a sneaking suspicion kangaroos might be on them. Sneaking suspicion. Okay, a person or an object that has insane potential and crazy to deal anything without fear or hesitation, even regardless of moral alignment, including its own rivals or competitors. It's like 90% of Australia. We learned that from Morpars. Come on, most of these animals have to be in Australia. There's no way.
Moral alignment, including its own rivals or competitors. And despite clearly taking grammar lessons from NBA Youngboy, I'd say whoever wrote that was pretty on point. It's a term I use a lot in my videos without really explaining exactly what it is. So here's a full list of the top 10 animals with the most black Air Force energy.
To be fair though, I didn't know what it meant either. So just kind of like unhinged animals. Take it easy, Alan. Get a good night's sleep.
Animals are an obvious pick, others might just surprise you.
Oh.
But they've all earned their spot, including the animal at number 10, which might have the least clout of any animal on this list, but that's only because it's found one place in the world.
Australia.
Because if this bird were airdropped across the globe, it'd definitely be more known for all the wrong reasons.
Oh.
Starting off is what happens when an animal is too smart for everyone else's quality of life. The Kia is a large parrot that can be found terrorizing the people of...
But why is he terrifying if he looks so friend-shaped? Based on what he said, I know he's not friend-shaped because he said terrifying bird, but why does he look friend-shaped?
New Zealand. And don't let it fool you, this black Air Force with a Grinch colorway is an op in every way. They're highly intelligent and armed with a hook-shaped beak, which is the perfect tool for Kias to inflate insurance by picking apart cars. You see, the Kia is smart enough to associate people and the cars we drive with food, which is why this anti-mechanic is famous for committing the cutest carjackings you'll ever see. Of course, they don't just stop at cars. This feather felon will go through purses, backpacks, stuff.
What the? It destroys cars? Yeah, Dawn, you agree? Okay. I hate this damn bird. Yeah, 07. What? Well, that beak for me says otherwise. They're just gonna rip things apart? That's not nice.
Bags and swipe anything they can fly away with. There was even a case where this airborne pirate stole the passport of a Scottish man that didn't want to be identified. Because no one wants to be remembered for getting denied from your home country because you got your passport pickpocketed by a panhandling parrot. It happened to him and it can happen to you, but guess what? If you happen to get your wallet snatched and try to see the Kia about it, be prepared to also eat a several $1,000 fine and even jail time. Kias are protected by the government because it only makes sense that something with wings would be above the law. And it's almost like every Kia knows it and acts accordingly. But it's not just humans getting griefed. Kias will regularly raid other birds' nests and make omelets with their unborn children.
What? So not only do they mess with humans, they literally eat the eggs of other ones? And you can't hurt them. They're invisible. Not invisible. Yeah, this is why you don't feed wild animals. Good job, Agent Parrot. Yeah, it's like, parrot? No. Wrong. It's evil. Evil parrots. Spicy parrot.
And they'll use that Swiss Army knife of a nose to remove parts of a living sheep to eat. And there have been reports of them victimizing dogs and even horses. But at least the Kia is
living sheep? Dang, they're messed up. What the?
isn't a legitimate physical threat to people. The next animal's responsible for putting more zookeepers on workers' comp than any other animal.
That's wild parrots? Yeah, that's, oh my god. I mean, the meat's gonna be fresh. And literally, while they're just there, the sheep can't fight back. So yeah, sheep, dogs, that's, oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't like them either. Kia just takes what it wants. I don't like them. They're not nice birds. No. I didn't think I'd be so terrified of birds before. Dang, all right, number 9. Let's see, this, if that's number 10, I'm terrified.
The African wilderness has some of the most ways to F around and find out per square mile in the world. So it makes sense that living in the most dangerous area codes in the world has turned the zebra into an actual psychopath. This oppressed Oreo horse has the strongest kick in the animal kingdom.
Zebras? Still confused with people that think that birds don't eat other birds. No, I know that. It's just crazy to me that they're just like on a rampage. Proof that the smarter an animal is, the more potential it has to be terrifying. That's why smart animals are scary. Agree. That birds are avian dinosaurs? Thank you. But their friend shape, of course it's zebras. I never would have thought zebras were... I mean, I got a huge kick apparently, but I never would have equated like zebra, scary. Cause like you think like everything can hunt a zebra. Okay, so let's find out more about this funky little zebra.
Strong enough for Marty to have written Alex out of the sequel. Which is why even though lions body them often, every once in a while a lion has to explain to his ancestors how he got flatlined by a high-strung equality donkey. But the generational anxiety of being constantly hunted means the zebra will often one-shot something for existing too close to it. There's 2 reasons why you won't see a person riding a zebra. 1, they're too small. And 2, every zebra is fundamentally a bastard to its core. No, like literally. Because many mother zebras will actually mate with as many males as possible, because if she's showing and he suspects it's not hers, he'll violently press her until it's terminated. And if the baby's already out, that's just an invitation for him to demote her from mother to mourning.
What the? What? Oh, okay, so they don't, I mean, it makes sense, but like, you would just hurt a little baby zebra? If you're confused by the fact, remind yourself what the cassowary looks like. Okay, real. Anything can hunt a zebra? Exactly. Yeah. That's crazy. Because with carnivores, you can intimidate them, show you're not a threat, but herbivores will try to end you immediately. It's weird to think about, but yeah, not his, don't care. I mean, getting rid of competition, that's still scary though, because what if, like, do they know? Would they know it's actually theirs or not? Zebra's mom's a bad paternity test. Marty's actually my favorite character to play in the Madagascar game. Kicks, crashing, and far jumps, simple and effective. I mean, zebras are great, but I mean, I just never would have thought. Zebras are delicious. Well, I would never eat a zebra. Zebra men, F them kids. I mean, it kind of makes sense, but like completely, like, get rid of them? Ugh. Ugh. The more predators a prey animal has, the more it has to stand on business just to survive, meaning the more dangerous it secretly is. Yeah, I mean, that's fair in some cases, yeah. That's why there's, like, colorful, like, insects and frogs and stuff. They don't will try to kill them for the most part. Ugh, if they mate with the female, they probably won't attack it. If not, they absolutely will. Okay, so as long as I think he mentioned that, you're right. As long as they're constantly in contact and dancing the tango, then I suppose they're fine.
And going back to humans, zebras are infamous for allegedly putting as many zoo staff in the ER as any other animal. They may look like horses whose favorite part of a birthday is the finger painting station, but this panda pony's liable to paint the block with their insides if you breathe at them the wrong way. Treat one like a barnyard animal and negotiate your left hand. And because zebras are genetically closer to donkeys than horses, calling it the ass of Africa is a scientifically accurate title. And as the default protein of many of the landlords of the savannah, it's a title they hold with pride, cause it's the best one they can get. 10% off is also what you can expect if you treat this barcode horse as a petting zoo. But at least they have the excuse of constantly being plotted on. The next animal has less excuses but more disrespect.
Okay, so didn't know that about zebras, but interesting. Okay. He's happy as long as he put the work on the group project. It's like with dolphins, they hurt the baby just to... Really? Dang. They're huge jerk. Zebras just donkeys with stripes. Okay, well that's fair. I mean, I know donkeys can kick really hard, but I don't know why. I always think zebras are just like friendly little guys. I never would have thought they were so like actually intense. Slender. Ooh, dolphins in chat, Lamau.
Deer managed to
Also, the zebra stripes are effective at confusing insects' flight patterns. Ooh, I didn't know that. That's cool.
cause billions of dollars in damage a year
Deer?
by playing freeze tag with cars, and that ironically makes them the most dangerous animal in America. But where blissful ignorance makes deer a threat, the deer of Down Under initiate conflict. 9 out of 10 car accidents in Australia involve kangaroos, and a good number of them are premeditated and not by the driver.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, if I was driving here and I was trying to like get out of the way of the kangaroo and he straight up just turned around and like sized me up, I would lose it. I would be afraid. Yeah, you called the kangaroos? I mean, I had it in the intro. But yeah, I'm not shocked about kangaroos. Those things are scary. So far, New Zealand won, Africa won. Well, I'm pretty sure this one's Australia. When the roost suddenly turns around and stares you down, I don't even know what I do. What you gonna do, mate? Yeah, he's like, oh, you wanna go? You having a giggle? Yeah, you following me? Yeah, you wanna go?
Kangaroos assault vehicles with enough regularity to commit insurance fraud. In fact, kangaroos will regularly...
Well, yeah, that's something they could do too. That was very loud. They would jump on your car. Yep. Uh-huh. Yeah, that gave me a, like, I was like, oh my god. I don't know if you heard me. I like gasped. You're awake. Good morning, Chad. That was, yeah, things you wouldn't think about that that now that you see it, you're like, oh yeah, I can see that happening. Kangaroo literally just said that driver, this is my road. Yeah, he said, heck you, this is my road. Roost playing Super Mario, Mamma Mia! When I saw it before I tripped, yeah, I was gonna say that gave me triple taked. That's scary. I'm sure they could destroy like the glass on your car. There's no way that a kangaroo won't be able to just like knock one out if it jumps on it. Oh my god.
beef with inanimate objects. But it's not just a bluff. These are some brolic marsupials, armed with claws, but more importantly a sharp dagger of a toenail. Which is why it's not a kangaroo's punch you have to worry about, but that Jurassic pedicure disembowelment. It's what makes their sparring sessions so lethal. That and the fact that kangaroos start every day with the specific goal of inconveniencing as many life forms as possible. If you happen to fly a drone in kangaroo country, prepare to have your insurance tested. In fact, it's not a stretch to say they hate anything that flies. Can you imagine how ridiculous this could have gotten? Imagine people thinking you died paragliding when really you survived but got mobbed by a pack of royal rabbits on impact. Kangaroos are number 8 because there's really no good reason for this. You see, as dangerous as Australia.
Okay, noted. Never be in the sky around kangaroos. They just saw something flying in and he's like, I'm gonna punch it. Check this out. What the? Yeah, I know their feet were dangerous because they're muscular in general, but they love to fight. Yeah, what are they born? They're like, I gotta punch something. I gotta kick something. I gotta mess something up. It's in my blood. That was on site. Yeah, they saw him floating from the distance and they're like, hey, we're gonna mess him up. You see this thing flying? Yeah, it's coming down. I got you. Oh, hold on. There was just sirens in the background. You can fly, unacceptable. Yeah, that's terrifying. Zero hesitation. Man, straight animal actually messed up.
There aren't really any dominant apex land predators. While kangaroos often contend with dingoes and the occasional wedge-tailed eagle, a full-grown kangaroo doesn't have much that can threaten it, other than a bigger kangaroo. So my working theory is, they got cocky, and until nature airdrops.
Oh my god, those poor photographers. Oh, they took them right out. 07. Those photographers didn't make it. I've seen this one before too, where it kicks them into the lake.
Drop some bears or maybe some type of big cat, kangaroos are still going to be out here thinking they can do whatever. Try to change their mind at your own risk. As on-site as these malicious macropods are, they're not even the most disrespectful animal in Australia, and believe me, we'll get to that.
So we know there's going to be another Australia one. All right, kangaroos, I get that vibe. Kangaroos are not nice. No fear of predators would do that to you. Yeah, do kangaroos have any predators? Because I feel like I don't think anything could scare those things. I even humans are afraid of kangaroos. Like, wonder, does Australia have equipment specifically made kangaroo proof? Like stronger glass on cars and stuff? That'd be interesting. Not anymore. '07 cameraman, he couldn't make it. Ah, sorry, I had to sneeze. Dingoes hunt them? Dingoes hunt kangaroos? Is this the cassowary? I'm betting it's the cassowary. Oh no. They do not once fully grown. Okay, yeah, okay. I don't think they... So they are. Huh. The only part I can think of that would be a danger to kangaroo would be a crocodile. Oh, you're not wrong. Okay, if they were in... Kangaroos do go in the ocean. We learned that from another one of his. Packs of dingoes might be able to pick off a sickly or young root. Yeah, that might be. Hello, welcome in. They deal with dingoes and possibly aboriginal people. Most likely hunt them, but they don't really have any natural predators. Okay. So maybe like swarms of things, but yeah. I'd imagine emu, to be honest. I could see, I mean, all of Australian animals just fight each other, I'm sure. Or crocodiles, rather. I'm picking up what you're putting down more, boss. I got you. I got you. Because dingoes like kangaroos have hatred towards domestic dogs. Oh. Really? I mean, they do look similar, so I could see that, but... Thank you, I appreciate it. What's up? We're just watching some animal videos. We're learning about very scary animals. Used to be bigger predators in Australia in prehistoric times, like hunted kangaroos. Oh. Australia's just one big thunderdome. Yeah, imagine being an animal in Australia and being like, I'm scary, and then someone one-ups you, and then someone one-ups that animal, and then someone one-ups that animal. That's what Australia is. Yeah, I would not want my dog near a kangaroo. No, absolutely not. Australia or PvP server. Again, Australians, I don't know how you do it, but mad respect, because it couldn't be me. If you go into the water with a kangaroo, they'll drown you. Yeah, we learned that from another one of his videos. Because I was like, oh, at least you'll be safe in the water. Wrong. Wrong. Kangaroos will mess you up in the water, too. Welcome to the... Yeah, literally messed up. Oh, you having fun, Dawn? Okay, I'm sorry for the noise in the background. This is my little kitten. She's playing.
The Big Five refers to the top 5 most dangerous animals to hunt in Africa. These include the elephant, the rhinoceros, the lion, the leopard, and an animal so feared it's been nicknamed Black Death. The African Cape buffalo is a walking attempted homicide case armed with a pair of horns to make most attempts successful.
Buffalo.
They have one of the highest KD ratios against humans with guns. In some places, these tanks with road rage and 50% of the people they go after, and a lot of that is because they will actively seek revenge. There have been stories of one buffalo murking the same hunter that took out a member of its own herd. And
okay, but fair though, so they remember. Buffalo, I never would have thought buffaloes. I would think buffaloes are peaceful. But welcome in, James. Someone probably hunt them and knows it's not a little snag, it could be a hard fight, yeah. Toxic traits think I could even stand the slightest chance against a kangaroo. Realistic, I'd probably get destroyed. I feel like I could look at a kangaroo and I would fade away. I would fade away. Cape buffaloes give me PTSD because I played a game called Dangerous Hunts. Oh no. They got buff in the name. Buffalo! Alright, let's see why they're so scary. Because I thought they were kind of like, just like, look at this pack of lions. I just thought they were like nice guys, you know? Like, just like, oh, they're just chill guys. Buffalo, 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 unironically. You real for that, TJ. I see what you did there.
Whether you're a lion or a hunter, these trench cows get it back in blood. And the scariest version of a Cape buffalo is one that's already been injured. Hunters have followed a mortally wounded buffalo into thick brush, only for the freight train with legs to circle back and ambush them from behind. Which is why the #1 rule when hunting Cape buffalo, assume you only have one shot because that's usually all you get. But it's not just humans getting bodied. Bloodlusting buffalo will seek out unsupervised lion cubs and log them out of life before they can grow up to be a threat. Not like
okay, but if a pack of buffaloes and like a couple lions, yeah, I could, cause one little ouchie from the horns and then you're cooked. They're nice until you get too close. They like their personal space. Note it, it's Tetra's natural enemy. Yeah, look at them. Look at them. Hunger for a handful of birdseeds or breadcrumbs. Oh, pigeon. Cape buffalo grew up dealing with lions, hyenas, wild dogs, and leopards. They have zero tolerance for any degree of hecking around and finding out. Yeah, buffalo's kind of really strong. I think I'm learning that today as well. We're learning together. Yeah, they're kind of a little scary.
The adults aren't at risk either. Capes will stalk and circle lone lions, using the threat of gang violence to give Mufasa a roommate. Which is how the same apex predator that can solo multiple hyenas can get sent up a tree like a house cat. They're like the Liam Neeson of animals. Wrong them and they make their life's mission to co-sign your obituary. That first hit was self-defense. Everything after
That lion just did a 720. Okay.
After that was a personal choice. And even though experienced lions can take them down, it's still very much a gamble. Especially since they can travel in herds of hundreds. That's also how they earned the nickname Widowmaker. Because right now there's at least one woman on Tinder because her husband decided to hunt a 1-ton vibe check while the buffalo decided that would be the day he'd finally live up to his nickname. It's a murderous mammal, but like the zebra, it's often just self-defense gone way too far. Not like the antics of the next animal.
Yeah, okay, so I thought they were friendly little guys. They're a little dangerous. Now I know, just stay away from the buffalo, because I would be 0-1 against a buffalo. Yeah, sick flip lion, bro. Yeah, literally, like, spun around twice. Backflip's also impressive as yours. Thanks, bro. Number 6.
If you're talking about the Black Air Force of the sky, you're probably talking about crows, or really just corvids in general. Crows are smart enough to manipulate their environment to their advantage, but they're all—
I know of crows. I know they're very, very intelligent, and they remember grudges. Built like a beef Wellington. Couldn't have said it better myself, TJ. Cape Buffalo, preemptive self-defense. Oh, 100%. Black Death and Widowmaker are the Cape Buffalo's most common nicknames. Kind of crazy work, but I understand why. Yeah, I would have never guessed that otherwise, but, like, it kind of checks out now. Herbivores in a nutshell, rather defense too far than not far enough. Yeah. Yeah, it can be really friendly pets. I just wouldn't want to— you wouldn't want to piss off a crow. Crows are smart like us pigeons. You wrong a crow, remember, it'll pass down the anger through generations. I have heard that. I've heard that before. Remember the whole thing mentioned about smart owls being the scariest? Well, and crows are what, only number 5? Ugh. Well, the thing I love about the ability of crows to hold grudges is that they teach their offspring to hate you too. I can imagine a little comic of like a crow being like this guy, a picture of the face of a human, and be like, we hate this guy. Love corvids myself, incredibly intelligent, remember feedings and bringing shiny gifts in exchange. Yeah, I just wouldn't want to be on their bad side, because I feel like I would mess up and they would get mad at me forever. But I think they're kind of cute. I think crows are kind of cute. Ravens are also kind of cute. Every time I think I'm close, think of the movie Birds. Oh no.
Also devious enough to manipulate other animals for their own sadistic pleasure. I don't know what that crow said to that cat, but it certainly involves someone's mother. Ravens will weaponize their relationship with wolves to call out hits on competing coyotes. Crows in Tokyo have especially become a problem where they've basically gone to war against the entire human population. But it's not just humans getting bullied. There might not be a worse time to be an owl than in broad daylight surrounded by a murder of crows. Not to mention crows will often raid the nests of other birds for a disturbingly literal kids meal. And that's when they're not just—
okay, I kind of assumed they would attack others, but oh, poor little babies. Oh no, other little baby birds. Crows are one of the oldest birds. Trust me, correct me if I'm wrong. I have no idea. Yeah, crows are really smart. I know that. Once knew a guy that started a crow theft ring accidentally when he gave them some bread. They started bringing him cash. Terrifying, yet very impressive. Yeah, stay on their good side. Stay on the good side. Welcome in, welcome in. I'm just stopping to give like a like. Bye, I appreciate it. Thank you. There's a lot of baby. Yeah, they like to attack the little babies. Gotta sleep, have a nice dream. Take it easy, Crom. Get a good night's sleep. Thank you for the super chat. Eggs and chicks are just canon to make with animals, including herbivores. Yeah, I kind of had a feeling crows are going to be a little aggressive like that, though. Baby birds are the Kit Kat bars of nature. No. No, not the little babies.
straight up snatching minors in front of their parents. I think EDP just found a spirit animal. They'll regularly mob and harass other birds until they drop the food they've already caught. And crows won't hesitate to beat on much larger birds of prey, which might explain why they do the exact same thing with humans to get them to surrender whatever calories they have on them. But the avian onslaught peaks out with the Australian magpie. Now turns out they're not actually corvids. They actually sit closer to another bird with psychopath tendencies.
Australian magpies. Okay, I don't know, so let's find out.
Either way, Australian magpies manage to be the most feared thing in a country seasoned with crocs, cassowaries, and snakes. And while most wildlife is harmless as long as you respect their space, the earth is their space, and they have no patience for trespassers. To the point where many Australians have taken to wearing helmets to protect themselves from the magpie's malicious intent. Especially during swooping season, where magpies will relentlessly attack anything that gets near their nest. Actual human lives have been lost to this goth Tweety's tantrums. And since corvids can remember faces, once you've been swooped, you can expect the same treatment next year. I think Tirzu said it best, corvids are what would happen if you gave monkeys wings. But at least in the magpie's case, they're only a legitimate threat to a human way of life.
That's terrifying, and they remember your face will just... How do you even know? Okay, dumb question. Are their nests, like, really far away, or can they, like, really high up? Because how would you mess up one of their nests? Like, would you have to, like, I'm not gonna go climb a tree to go mess up its nest unless I'm like, you know, unless I guess, I don't know, I'm cutting down trees or something, but I don't really do that in my free time or at any time. They don't want to take that chance. I just don't understand how you would get close to its nest to freak it out. They could be close. Like, if it's on the top of this, like, electrical pole, would it freak out that you're nearby? Because look at this kid on the... Is he on a bike or rollerblades? I can't really tell. It's a very weird pose. Shoppy walking, they saw you, that's it? Dang. So they're just naturally angry. And then gets slightly close, gets it, no matter the intention. That's kind of messed up. Their definition of close is very broad. I see you miles away. You're done. You're done, bucko. It's Australia. It's probably just because it felt like murdering. Like, this looks like a town. Like, some birds be nesting on the ground and compensating with aggression. Yeah, like, why are you building on the ground then? It's like, oh, I'm gonna do it in the middle of this really busy road so I can just mess with people. Dang. The worst thing about a lot of these aggressive bird species that you're legally not allowed to fight back to defend yourself. Yeah, because we gotta protect them. That's, I mean, birds got it nice, huh? I'm just gonna imagine just waking up angry and be like, I'm gonna mess with everyone today.
For the roughly 6 weeks of swooping season. Next animal is one of the biggest dangers to humans.
Did he just say 6 months of swooping season? Hold up.
Best, corvids are what would happen if you gave monkeys wings. But at least in the magpie's case, they're only a legitimate threat to a human way of life for the roughly 6 weeks of swooping season.
Oh, 6 weeks. Okay, alright. I was gonna say 6 months of swooping season? Holy. Okay, I heard months and I was like, what? Okay, half a year would have been crazy work. Okay, 6 weeks is a long time, but okay. Whew, okay.
Season. Next animal is one of the biggest dangers to humans all year round.
The crows were number...
It was really only a matter of time before the river rhino made an appearance. Widely considered the world's deadliest mammal, you may have noticed that hippos weren't included in the Big Five, and I have to assume that's because nobody that has a desire to see the next day would actually hunt them. Arguably, no animal has a harder working PR team than the hippopotamus. First of all, it's not the goofy lardonkey it lets you think it.
It's Big Moodang! Yeah, I wouldn't have thought hippos, but now that I see it, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Hippos are terrifying. Yeah, hunky hippos. Oh god. Yeah, only a threat for half a year. That's why I had to rewind that, Minty. I was like, there ain't no way it's half a year. Month and a half is bad, but half a year would have been, whew. Yeah, I always thought hippos were really cute. And seeing how terrifying they are scares me. Scares me a little bit.
A thin subcutaneous fat layer means hippos are actually walking units. And despite their awkward appearance, hippos can outpace any human over short distances.
They walk in units, but they are a unit. Ayy.
And that includes on land and in water, where they somehow become even more territorial. Hippos have been known to lower the census totals of other animals for seemingly no reason. Just when an antelope thinks it's been bailed out, the slaughter horse does origami with its spine. And even though they're supposed to be herbivores, every once in a while they'll give in to the temptation of tasting the flesh of their victims.
I'm sorry, what? Hippos are cute, doesn't stop them also being terrifying. Yeah, they're pretty cute, but then, like, yeah, they're all muscle. You wouldn't think they're all muscle, but they're all muscle. Again, some animals' PR is crazy. I don't know why. I feel like we've all been tricked just to think, like, hippos are, like, cute little, like, animals that won't hurt you. Yeah, hippos swim and run fast and won't allow you for simply existing in their eyesight. They will mess you up. The pygmy hippos. Yeah, like Moodang. Not carnivores, just for the love of the game. I like how they mention that. Like, oh, yeah, I know they're mostly herbivores, but, like, you know, sometimes they just get a little... They just want a little sample of meat. Yeah, no, that's cool. I love that for them.
Cannibalism is not off the table. Science doesn't really know why exactly they do this, but science doesn't account for an animal just being a dick. Few predators will press this obese water pig, and those that do so at their own risk. Hippos are so carnage happy that the biggest threat to a baby hippo is a bigger, meaner bull hippo. It's how a hippo baby shower can legitimately end in a rain of flesh confetti. Now, to be fair, plenty of animals resort to infanticide. Hippos are just really mean about it. Like I said, nobody's PR team works harder. Except maybe dolphins, which makes sense.
Dolphins?
Despite resembling ungulates like warthogs and rhinos, the hippo's closest living relatives are actually cetaceans like dolphins and whales. But instead of making it out in the ocean, hippos decided to make a living griefing everything in its area code. And I didn't even mention the way they claim that area code.
Dolphins, explain yourself. Mudang has acquired a taste for human flesh. I honestly, I know I've seen like the videos of them like crushing watermelons and fruit and stuff, but like, dang. Dolphins, explain yourself. How's it with the simplification in class? Did you already watch this vid? One rule of nature school never taught you? I don't think so. Why is dolphins taking strays? I don't know. I don't know. They just mentioned the video. Ask Casual Geographic, not me.
You know, if you unsubscribed right now, I wouldn't blame you. The only thing that can make this well.
Don't unsubscribe from Casual Geographic. Just great. I love that they just fling poop all over the place too. That's nice. That's cool. Huh. Helicopter poo for the win.
And more of a menace than it already is if it were a straight up predator, or if it hunted in packs. Then again, that would literally make it an animal further down this list.
Okay, so we learned a little bit about hippos that we didn't want to learn. Love that. I'm gonna throw up, be right back. Fair. You're real for that. You're real for that. Call him Poop Nado. No. All right, animal number 4. Let's go.
My personal bias was not going to keep the elephant off this list.
Oh!
Asian elephants especially get themselves into trouble by raiding villages and emptying out their rice supply, which is why Asian elephants are responsible for the bulk of human hashtags, especially since they can be just as vengeful as the Cape buffalo. Earlier this year, a man in Thailand had an elephant working hauling wood in the brutal heat, which is illegal, and apparently the elephant knew his rights because he proceeded to rip his boss in half. And of course, we gotta address the I'm better than that. One elephant traveled over
Okay, I know elephants can be nice. However, I have heard some stories with elephants, if they are pushed to their limits and then you make them, like you force them to do things, that they can actually destroy you. Yeah. Yeah, I wish I had a poop flinging tail. It would make a great defense and save toilet paper costs. They should have put the hippo in the other Casual Geographic video. Elephants are 50-50. Yeah, I feel like they're really smart. Again, it goes back to the theory we have, like, intelligent animals scary. Because I've heard stories where their elephants have been super sweet and, like, caring and nice, and they play little, like, haha funny jokes, like they pretend to hide their hat. And then I've heard some stories where the elephant, like, flips out. In the elephant's case, usually justified. Oh, no, 100%. They literally have to be pushed to their limits. To freak out. And honestly, like the one story with the wood pushing thing, I mean, the poor guy got ripped in half, but he was abusing the elephant. So like, elephants kind of sweet and kind animals. Yeah, you just have to be nice to them.
100 miles to murk a 70-year-old woman collecting water, only to pull up to her funeral to attack the sole evicted body, this time in front of her family. The biggest mystery of mankind is what motivated a 4-ton pachyderm to pack up an elderly woman twice. If he had a reason, it's not like he's gonna.
Yeah, what would cause an elephant to do that? If she was, he said they were just collecting water, but what? Then you could even play dead with elephants and they'll try and step on you. Yeah, I know, I've heard that before too. I've said this before, I don't care how nice it looks or acts, if his ability to kill me by accident, I'm keeping my distance. I would never get close to an elephant. Nuh-uh. Like, I've like, been on a horse before, and even horses scare me sometimes. I don't care how dangerous, they'll always be the sweetest animal for me. I just know I'm not messing with them. Heard that story many times where he went after the woman collecting water and then at her funeral as well, because that's crazy work. Was involved in poaching? Oh, well, heck her then. How dare she? Okay, then that makes sense. Okay, now we have some context. That makes sense.
Tell us, elephants rank over hippos because where hippos commit war crimes in the heat of passion, when an elephant catches a body, you can almost be certain it was premeditated. And it's in populations that have been fragmented by poaching where young male elephants really fly off the handle. And bull elephants are already pretty high strung as it is, but they managed to get worse in communities decimated by poaching. To the point where 3 elephants in South Africa were responsible for deleting 63 rhinos as well as charging at people. Now to be fair, poaching typically targets older bulls, and research shows that without old heads around, younger male elephants go into must a lot sooner than they should. Which I get. What I don't get is why that has to involve turning a rhino from a tight end to a wideout. What you have to remember is that elephants are intelligent enough to experience every human emotion like compassion, empathy, and hope. But for every headline like this, you might get a headline.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say, elephants can be nice. I'm getting the same thing. Yeah. If I had a horse try to eat your pants as a kid, well, if you go, like, behind a horse, you could scare them and then you're out. Grew up in a farm country, wouldn't get in the same field as a horse or cows. Those things can kill you by simply not paying attention. Oh, 100%. They could do it without even, like, a mean bone in their body. I'm waiting for this one, because this is, elephants came to mourn the elephant. Oh, is this actually a sweet story? It's actually a nice one?
Line like this. And if elephants wore shoes,
Wait.
they'd rock the every headline like this, you might get a headline like this.
Elephant harms woman and returns to her funeral to attack her. Okay, that's the one he said before. Okay. Yeah, no, I was gonna say, I know elephants can be nice, but yeah.
And if elephants wore shoes, they'd rock the biggest black Air Forces the world's ever seen. But that's only because the next animal on this list doesn't have legs.
What? It's gonna be a snake.
One of the biggest injustices of cinema.
Dolphins? Oh, no, you didn't. Oh, no, you didn't. Oh my god. I visited an elephant sanctuary in Sri Lanka. They were lovely. I would say, as long as you're nice to an elephant, I feel like it's a good story. Because even they said the elephant whisperer went to visit him. Dolphin gasp. Well, let's see what dolphins did. Let's see what they did. To be fair, I knew this was coming. Again, dolphins are an intelligent animal, so 07.
That where dolphins got cast as a lovable flipper, sharks got typecast as Jaws. Dolphins are the most disrespectful beings in the ocean. Makes sense because they're basically intelligent hydrodynamic hippos. They regularly bully sharks, use fish heads and live eels as marital aids, commit unprovoked acts of porpoiside, all while letting humanity think they're the good guys. They have mating practices so brutal that I probably can't even talk about them. Just know that what dolphins like to do to each other, guidelines might try to do to me. But we can't talk about dolphins without talking about the biggest dolphin of all. The orca is the most dominant apex predator on the planet that is.
Oh, they one two tricked us. Dolphins led him to orcas. Okay, so I can understand that because dolphins are they think they're a little tee-hee ha-ha funny, but orcas, however, they're mean. Yeah, they're okay. I know a little bit about this, so I'm curious as to what he says. Good work, take the heat, orcas. You're safe this time, dolphins. You're safe. Orcas will scare sharks for months, by the way. Yeah, orcas are terrifying. Orcas scare me. I don't ever want to see one. I don't want to be near one. Nope.
Inhuman. And as if sheer size and intelligence wasn't enough, they typically hunt in pods with the coordination of a wolf pack, which is how this oppressive sea Oreo regularly griefs the tankiest animals on the planet. They're such a force that great whites have been known to abandon hunting grounds for up to a year once this steroid quality guppy makes an appearance. Probably because they've been known to use the shark's biology against them to rob them of their heart and liver, just to leave the rest of the shark to sink to the abyss. And then there's the fact that orcas often practice their craft on other animals, which is why if you ever feel bad about penguins getting bullied by seals, I suggest you see what happens when a Navy SEAL joins the Air Force. And while you—
How much air did that seal get? What the? Huh? Dolphins throwing his cousin out of the bus, tragic. Someone's gotta take the heat. Orcas are mean. Like, I know dolphins are any better, but that's for another day. I just know orcas are like mean.
You could chalk this up to hunting strategy. There's also the chance that living life on Roku difficulty means orcas get bored and just start trying stuff. And while it's true a wild orca has never taken out a human, that hasn't stopped them from actively messing with human vessels with disturbing regularity. It's like they know who's ruining the ocean and adjust their behavior accordingly. Either way, orcas are the humans of all things. Moral of the story, Free Willy should have been put on parole. The only thing more black Air Force than an animal that griefs everything around it would be an animal that commits atrocities against its own kind. And that's why orcas are only number 3.
And orcas are only number 3. Okay, well, I knew about most of that stuff. Enough to think about wrong life choices. Yeah, orcas scare me. To be fair, another ones, but it's very scary. Yeah, dolphins are just as mean, but orcas are more capable. Yeah, I think that's the best way to state it, Sather. Orcas have the disturbing combination of being smart enough to come up with incredibly creative ways of killing things and being big enough that nothing can stop them. Yeah, that's like the best way to say it. Yeah, sorry, dolphins. I didn't mean to put you on blast. Orcas are mean.
Ask any zookeeper what animal they fear the most. If they don't say chimps, they've never worked with one. A common misconception is that chimps are 5 times stronger than the average man. And while the number is actually closer to 1.5, chimps have more fast twitch muscles, a stronger bite force, and a stronger grip force. Their ability to use tools is fascinating to watch, until you realize that means they're able to create and use weapons. People often forget that chimpanzees are pack hunting predators.
Okay, yeah, honestly, chimpanzees and just like types of monkeys in general, I feel like I wouldn't think they're harmful, but it makes sense. Like a lot of these lists, I'm like, oh, they're just precious, but no, that checks out. Orcas don't usually see humans as prey and will approach us out of curiosity and playfulness, and then they delete you.
Able to execute attacks with the precision of early man, and that doesn't just apply to their prey. Chimps in Luongo National Park have been documenting attacking families of gorillas and murking any helpless offspring they can get their hands on. Literally no animal safe from the violent tendencies of a furious George, but it's the damage they inflict against their own kind that puts them over the top. Chimp casualties often share the same injuries: a disfigured face, missing fingers if not entire hands, and a non-consensual neutering. Chimps seem to have an understanding of what's important to an animal, and they go out of their way to remove it. It's why I can show you this picture and you'll understand. And it's why instead of organ donor I have, if ever maimed by a chimp, just let me die on my driver's license. And it's also why you probably have a better chance of surviving being locked in a room with a lion than in a room with a furry chainsaw with thumbs. The fact that a chimp can get put 6 feet under by members of its own troop guarantees them a...
Yeah, I feel like I remember seeing something. I don't know if it was a scientific study, but it was like there were different areas of chimps and they ended up grouping together a certain way. And it was bad. I remember reading it and I was like, I never would have thought chimps would have done this. Paracoon made the mistake of entering the chimp enclosure. Yeah. There's ever been a recorded death by orca in the wild. Zoos, on the other hand, they should not be held in captivity. The Gombe chimpanzee war, probably. Yeah, because that sounds pretty familiar. I remember it was like 2 separate groups and the amount of things that the chimps did to each other was like, I couldn't even imagine it in my wildest dreams. Like, it was just crazy. Hello.
Spot on this list. The only way an animal could beat that is if something was enough of a menace to be a legitimate threat to itself. And that's exactly what number 1 is. But before we reveal number 1, here's some honorable mentions.
Okay, of course it's a geese. All right, so now we're on number 1 after this. I'm surprised geese didn't make it, because geese are also terrible. Just terrible. Yeah, the chimp war was wild. I remember, I don't know if I heard about it, read about it. I just remember I was really, really shocked about what was in it. All right, honorable mentions. Let's see, geese with the teeth. Yeah, it's a little scary. A little terrifying. You don't think about it, but yeah, there's teeth on there. Chimpanzees have the intelligence to premeditate murder and the temperament to follow through with it. Yeah, which is scary. Honey badger. Okay, let's see.
Canadian goose, for having the most irrational confidence of any animal. They actually almost went extinct, and now they revolve their entire existence around punishing humanity for it. Swans, because what geese...
I forgot about swans. Yeah, swans are jerks too. The goose is pogging. He was pogging.
Geese think they are, swans always have been. Wolverines, because they're more than capable of hunting for themselves.
Never would have thought wolverines, but again, checks out. Yeah, they're very territorial.
But they'd rather tax animals 3 times their size for a living. Meerkats, for being quite literally the most homicidal mammals on the planet. And now at number 1 to
Meerkats, you good? Meerkats, you good? Hello? Just for deleting their own kind? Okay.
Absolutely no one's surprised.
Wait, what's number 1?
The honey badger, the most unapologetically disrespectful creature on Earth. I have an entire video dedicated to the exploits of this steroid skull.
Now we gotta watch this one. Why honey badgers don't fear God or lions. That's probably gonna be a banger one. Yeah, okay. We're gonna learn. I don't know much about them. We're gonna learn today.
But here are some highlights. They'll regularly pinch food from leopards and then throw a tantrum if they get caught. They'll take on packs of animals that realistically should be able to one-shot them. But the Oreo weasel has plot armor in the form of crackhead courage. They'll raid the hives of African bees, the same bees that are 10 times meaner and sting 10 times more than their European cousins. And honey badgers aren't immune to bee stings. They're resistant, but enough stings will flatline a honey badger. But
what he just said, nah, I'll wing it? Like, yeah, 1v3 lions? Yeah, that's crazy. Where just killer bees? What type of... I phased out because I was like, attacking bees is actual crazy work. Oh my god. Yeah, you literally... Honey badgers, I'm learning definition of YOLO. It's good honey, I guess. Oh my god, when he says honey badgers don't care, he means it. Honey badgers on a whole different level. He's just the definition of F it, we ball. Like, okay.
Ask the honey badger if he cares. He won't answer, but you know the answer. These
don't
prison
care.
ferrets also run fades with highly venomous cobras. If they manage to get bitten, they'll just slip into a cobra-induced coma and then wake up hours later and walk it off like a Sunday morning hangover. Even the honey badger's idea of self-defense is as offensive as you can get, as in they'll reverse their anal pouches inside out.
Okay, we did learn this about the honey bears. The honey badgers. We did learn this. Maybe that's why they get honey pop. Bees will sting you 1,000 times. Honey badger can't hear you from me ripping open your hive and devouring all your honey. That's actually insane. Oh my gosh. I return. Welcome back. We're on the #1 scary animal. Thank you for the super chat, Minecraft Lord. You got #1. It's apparently honey badger, and I'm afraid. Honey badger put me in coach. I'll fight all 10 of them. Yeah, he's actually just like I'm flabbergasted. This guy's a little scary. We did learn about what he's gonna mention right now, though.
And release a smell so pungent it can allegedly paralyze attacking bees. And honestly, any animal that religiously attacks the baby makers of others is a different tier of menace. No other badger represented this better than Stoffel, who once escaped from his enclosure and picked a fight with a neighboring family of lions who nearly mauled him to death. After about 2 months in the hospital, the first thing the affiliated ferret did fresh out was go right back at the same lions to settle the score. And that was only one of the hundreds of times Stoffel managed to raise the blood pressure of the people around him. But here's the real kicker. Stoffel was actually hand-raised by humans at a young age and therefore imprinted on them. He had no intention of ever leaving. The whole thing was just a game to him. Because if
Huh? They're that smart?
blatant disrespect were a sport, they still wouldn't play it because anything involving rules goes against a honey badger's belief system. But that's gonna do it for this video. For more consistent
He escaped all the time and robs the fridge of the owner? He's like, Lamau, you take care of me. You raised me since I was young, but check this out. Don't go on Honey Badger Facts. Just going to watch the Honey Badger. Yeah, I'm going to watch the Honey Badger video. Good point. Thank you, John. What the? It's a BBC documentary with Stoffel, an escape expert, and they had to redesign his cage around 10 times. I want to watch that video. But whatever the Honey Badger video was, I want to watch that one. We're going to learn about honey badgers. I know the the poop thing, but we got to watch his other video. Yeah, I want to see the whole video. He did it because heck you did. Yeah, he just was like, oh, this is funny. Oh my god.
content, be sure to follow my Instagram and TikTok. I try to post
follow
daily on
Casual
both.
Geographic.
And to further support this channel, my Patreon's also going to be in the description.
Let's go!
But also, like, don't feel like you have to give anything. If you watched the video this far, you've already done more than enough. But other than that, drink water, hug your mother, don't hug a honey badger. It'll never end well. And I'll see you in the next one.
Good advice. Do not hug a honey badger. Okay, that was... I have a general idea of otters. You can give him a girlfriend to calm him down, just turn into the body of his Clyde. I love that for him. Oh my gosh, I want to learn about the honey badger now. Things I didn't think I'd actually enjoy. Oh my god, this story sounds absolutely banger. Alright, I have to minimize this. Thank you, Casual Geographic. You're an actual gem. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the content, please consider liking and subscribing. If you have any recommendations for future videos, please feel free to leave them in the comments below.